superior beings. Oh, greetings, superior beings. Greetings, supreme being. Welcome to Universal Peace Radio. I noticed that our phone wasn't working, and then I thought, strange that our car isn't working anymore either. And with wireless energy, they can drain your batteries and destroy equipment, fry circuits of missiles. And they can abuse the technology also to change the climate in your house, etc. So it may be better if I stay live so you can follow what's going on with me basically. I think they're murdering me to depopulate to 500 million. And recently they've let me cough up blood by taking my lungs. So I was talking with my father about it, and I said that I think that the beast computer might think that I'm in the hospital now. It anticipated that I'd run to the hospital, which can help me. Hospitals are slaughterhouses nowadays. So I don't consider them real doctors anymore. And I think they have no cure for centipedes in the human body. Several people wrote me that they think they have these centipedes in their body. So that's why I sometimes pretend that there are centipedes in our body in the hope that somebody would write me with a cure against centipedes for other people that wrote me. And I can do a broadcast. I think I already did with their emails on whatsthatbug.com or something. You can read more about it and also on other websites. But it's hard to find the information. It's usually snowed under, covered up with misinformation they want you to read. The telephone rang one time. It's possible because it was off the hook that they've temporarily disconnected it. My father writes on Skype. I can check if it worked now. I just dialed 119, but let's check if it's something. But 119 is not the number in the Netherlands. So the torture they did to my lung with the beam, I was able to feel with my hand. The screen share, there's nothing much to see anyway. Um, the torture they did to my lung, they also did to other directed energy weapon torture victims. So I'm 100% certain they do it with a beam. There's several ways to check this. Going in circles, putting the hand on the attacked body part, and you can usually feel the pressure wave. And so they've also done this to other people. And when I was walking outside, I realized that if they're really killing people like me with the cancer Haarp, and if they snuff people and torture people, stick needles through eyes of people, then they are disgusting trolls, and their genocide and torture continues. And So doing crimes that are so horrible that nobody would believe that they did them is another way to cover up the crimes, and they do it to control people with the brainwave that they can steal from the victim that they tortured to death, and the brainwaves of people that saw the crime. Another thing they like to do is show people that knock down another person, and then they show, and it's like they hit you basically in the face. And perhaps it is aimed at confusing precognitive people. The point was that leg cramp torture is not as bad as the long torture, and after a while people cough up blood. Then they can do colloidal silver in the vaporizer and use their own scalar waves to heal their lungs or embolism, which they've caused with Haarp. And I know that for sure because I can feel the beam on my hand, so I myself am 100% certain that they did it with Haarp, and that many people are brain controlled. It's best to have no opinion because perhaps you are punished no matter what choice you make if you make a choice. So both choices might be wrong. I'm just trying to good. I'm just trying to give good advice. If they're gonna kill us all, then we have to do something. It's obvious that most people won't let themselves be tortured to death. Not even if they do it slowly with Haarp. We will not go quietly. So I know myself, and I think most people think it's obvious that I've never done anything to justify being tortured, and the ultra sadisticness of illegal torture and the lies of the perpetrators make clear that they are terrorists with heart and not saving anybody but themselves, perhaps. I think they cannot save themselves. And, they're still hurting my spine, so they're dissolving my spine, which will break eventually. And I think Obama, guilty of treason, Barrister Davis Obama, or whatever his real name is guilty of that. He is the one responsible, whether he's controlled by Peter Bergoglio or not. I would argue the Rockefellers with the cancer harp. Well, I doubt if they have cancer harp. I know they have the Georgia Guidestones on the pseudonym Robert Christian in the Nazi eugenics program. Um, well, I don't know if they are doing the torture. Actually, I don't know who is torturing me. I only know it's done with harp, and that Obama is responsible anyway, whether it's Bergoglio or Rockefeller. Anyway, the point was that for me, it's almost impossible to cycle and do anything when they're torturing me, when they're torturing my lung that way. And they're also torturing me by inducing pain in my shoulders as if I've worked very hard. So basically, what they're doing is they're attempting to cause rapid aging, and I do the opposite with my cloudbusters and stuff. So scalar waves work, it's scientifically proven. The Esculapis is basically a scalar wave generator. It's a scalar coil, also known as a Möbius coil. And some also claim that it's used for Vimanas, basically in flying saucer technology, with Mercury. Thing to generate scalar waves, wireless energy of Nikola Tesla. scalar orbs making illegal crop circles. The Haarp orbs, basically also known as Foo Fighters. They may have time travel capability. So people might also be exaggerating how bad things are going. We read about a doomsday clock. So how to stop that doomsday clock shit then? How to stop the doomsday clock? Perhaps we should blow it up or something. I mean, clocks will keep on ticking until they're stopped, aren't they? So how to stop the doomsday clock? Well, changing the insane preemptive nuclear doctrine in violation of the Prevention of Nuclear War Agreement back to normal would be one step that would be too easy to take, perhaps. But okay, if you want to create a world war over Iran attacking Israel, then let the US respond to that instead of Israel with its own nukes, of which it is Netanyahu is denying the existence of the nukes. Some Israeli people as well, perhaps, but not all of Israel. And I try to be as just and accurate and truthful as possible to create a perfect society, make us all eternal. But when people like me are tortured, they sometimes also say things to make the torture stop. And well, because of my hypnosis, I haven't lost my mind yet. That's one reason, also because I'm quite normal. I'm psychic rather than psycho in reality. I can talk along with any person when they speak. Sometimes read minds a little bit, and I sometimes have precognitive visions, things that happened in my future. For example, me making love with Aisha. They showed me that through one of my cameras that were switched off. It was an IPTEC camera, which later a police officer destroyed and my father fixed it again for me. Which was at that time I was saying a bracha over a joint in Amsterdam and then the police attacked me. And that had to do with you first have to finish the bracha, the blessing, before you can respond to anything else, basically. But I think it was a setup, and I was not arrested at that time. Anyway, we can always think of something we like. We don't have to talk about lives, what you make, or whatever. So if I'm allowed to play videos like talk, perhaps there are other things I have to do to be able to play them. But I think we are not allowed to play them with copyright infringement. So people cannot just make a mix. You would also hear in the disco. So usually I'm mixing, and that's why sometimes. But I think this is much cooler. Perhaps I will have hundreds of millions of viewers soon. I will rule the world and make everybody eternal and create a perfect society. It's better than some fictional demon that is depopulating the earth, trying to create a negative dystopia, playing everybody out against each other, torturing everybody, poisoning everybody, manipulating the brainwave, violation of the right to privacy, physical integrity, and freedom of thought. etc. That's what I think. And my solar powered waterfall is working. It's still working. You can hear it in the background. If I can get the mic even closer. Solar powered waterfall by more PC on this channel YouTube. Oh. The burps are basically the perpetrators making me burp. And when they hurt my lung, that hurts tremendously. And normally my burps don't sound that way. Anyway, this is not the burp show. But I am very. Everybody should be allowed to say whatever they want to on the internet, basically. So if you would be allowed, if the internet would be uncensored, you would say anything you want to. What would you say? There are also encrypted pages, a bit comparable to Thor and others, where you are allowed to say and write anything you want to. In the CIA and others probably monitor everything you say. Anyway, they're monitoring our brainwaves, so how much difference does it make? They already know our passwords, they know more than we know. Do you have any tips for me, superior being? To create a perfect society and make everybody eternal? You can tell me it's impossible because everything is energy. We don't have tips at the moment, but perhaps you'll get a good idea now because of this hypnosis. And you can just relax. If they're also messing with your brainwave and emotions, and that explains it. Um, you can hear the pedo purpose torturing me going, oh my god, etc. When I pick my pipe. Because they want to pretend it's caused by my pipe. By smoking. Well, if you do too much, then it would be bad. So I cannot advise anyone to smoke. You can also eat cannabis. You can use long herb tea with it, so that you don't have to cough too much. And I do think using a pipe is better than using papers. You also smoke the paper, smoke cigarettes. And I read somewhere pipe smokers live longer. Most people in the world were smokers, so they might be producing misinformation to depopulate the earth and pretend that the cancer induced with Haarp is caused by eating bread, by smoking, things millions of people do worldwide. So if you do one of these things, they can induce it with Haarp. That's my theory about it. And I think many of the things they do, if you expose them, then you sound like paranoid, schizophrenic, or psychotic person. Um, they try to change my into I am. Of course, I'm not psychotic, like I already said in my previous broadcast. I'm psychic rather than psychotic. Oh, it's this broadcast also. So if you would be here, I could demonstrate way that I can talk along with you with whatever you say. I hear the doorbell, so I go downstairs for a while. I'll be back. Stay tuned. And can go down next. Cranial. Hurting my lung again, Mr. Haarp. So disarm, disarm, disarm. The Alpha and Omega doesn't do fuck against your legal torture with Haarp. People may never be punished for telling the truth, okay? Innocent people may not be tortured. I opposed all forms of torture. I consider torture a disgrace to the human race, a horrible abomination. Oh yeah, you know, nice. Ah, it's not gonna try. Awesome. Alright. So separatable. There's another one. Getting. Okay. Certified from Ukraine. Speak success. I'm a fine collector. Doesn't mean that I smoke too much, which I don't. Smoke less than I used to. And my lungs were checked with bronchoscopy. And they looked a lot better than I thought they would. Judging from the pictures we see online. So there's a gigantic misinforming of the public taking place. So perhaps I should let it read out something. Why am I going? Um, yeah, that's a good point. Actually, I cannot prove anything I said, can I? Well, the directed energy weapon torture, I know myself, I'm 100% certain that they attacked me, and I know the BFSA and the AA and the kill switch are real. But if the judge is Jesuit controlled and so is the Supreme Court, then you could argue fair trial is impossible anyway. Let's use some hebben we tweeën. Highway toast. So with the hydride toast, you have to be careful. You have to basically close your nostrils because otherwise it will shoot into the back of your nose, make you cough. And, we can completely relax despite artificial fear and torture they may do to me at the moment. It's only a little bit, so I have to say more. There's a spark, there is gas, there is no flame. There is no flame. Whatever. They can control it with Haarp and Haarp is the most powerful atmospheric heater with terawatts, but it has natural gas underneath it. Without air, the gas cannot be ignited, perhaps. Well, I've determined the direction of the beam as accurately as possible. I'm not 100% certain. Yeah, it's on with Haarp. I think 99.999% certain. So I say I'm certain the torture was done with Haarp, but I don't know who's responsible. Pope Bergoglio, President Obama, or Mr. Rockefeller. And I usually use other terms with that, especially when I'm tortured severely. I consider it very inhumane ways to populate with Ebola and Haarp and chemtrails and all the other shit. So I don't like it one bit. Yeah, this is a better pipe anyway. My bulldog, Westminster London made, really nice briar. It has a W on it. I consider it art, very nice. I think they're trying to make me cough, and I usually drink yogi tea. The yogi tea that's not in baggies, which gives you vapor in your tea, but loose tea that you can throw in the tea can and then heat it up basically. Some honey with it, and then you have a really wonderful tea. Coffee, which is caffeine, which narrows down your consciousness, like alcohol and tobacco, is, is the most drank beverage on earth. I read somewhere. Oh, it's true. But I like yoga tea far better. Definitely one of my favorite drinks. And qua pipes, I think there's not much difference. I think that some of my um, meerschaum pipes smoke better than some of my briars or rosewood, Brazilian wood pipes, etc. So it depends on the shape. I don't know what it depends on. Perhaps also on the moistness of the tobacco, of course. I better take off my pants before I get cancer. So B-cell lymphoma can grow faster if your legs are hot, etc. And they caused a power shortage a while ago, and it switched off my amplifier. And since that time, I have not produced a scalar wave anymore. Though I was convinced that I was, so I still enjoyed the placebo effect. But, in reality, my feet have swollen up a little bit, and my legs as well. So the B-cell lymphoma Haarp definitely works if I don't have my scalar wave to kill the B-cell lymphoma on, which I have on now. Though it might not be optimal for everyone else, and they're hurting my spine. So they're also doing other things. They've hurt my lung, caused an embolism with Haarp. So I think, or at least I used to think they're murdering me, but to get out of the vicious spiral, I have to make clear it's insane if they're murdering me. I'm an innocent kind vegetarian. I am viable, which you can also see from my broadcast, so I can definitely work with a computer, though they've declared me 80% inviable because of a blood disease they've probably also caused with Haarp. I think they did it with Haarp, and Haarp has time travel capability. Or someone else has time travel capability, and perhaps someone else is helping me while the people with Haarp are attempting to murder me. Anyway, you can imagine that these quantum computers will become almighty because everything is energy, and the neural networks keep on learning. And I think these people can easily switch them off. They're just D-Wave computers, etc. D-Wave, the first quantum computer. I already mentioned it, I guess. I love you, mother. I don't know the rest of the lyrics. Okay, so perhaps it's more fun to have an only audio broadcast so I can concentrate more on what I'm saying, so that I say more interesting, nicer, more healing things that produce more orgone bio life force energy. So if you're not meditating on something sexual, which might be best to produce the maximum amount of bio life force energy, you can also meditate on the pyramid, the Egyptian phi-shaped pyramid, which has special dimensions. And I read somewhere that it is proven that you produce more bio life force energy, which is measurable with an organometer, when you do that and if you don't do that. And breathing might be even more important, so we get better ideas, more oxygen to our brain. And I'm not tortured severely. My arm is hurting a little bit, so they're causing severe, not severe pain, I mean sore pain throughout my body a little bit, um, which might be my scalar wave killing B cell lymphoma or their scalar wave attempting to induce B cell lymphoma or something else, or perhaps they're not torturing me in any way, it's just from the things they've done to me in the past. Um, I think they are hurting my arm a little bit with sore pain. Oh, yeah. Well, masturbation is better, even, yeah. But I would like some woman visiting me better than masturbation. To massage and make love. I think it's better to make love together than to masturbate alone. That's scientifically proven as well. And sperm is healthy, sex is healthy. So I covered that. And, they might use it to prevent you from hearing what I say next, which might save your life, basically, or potentially kill everyone, including me. Hmm. Perhaps I should play some music. I could go to the output, the sound card output instead of my microphone. I think it is not really professional to keep the mic on with the audio and then it starts feedbacking. But sometimes it's still the best way, I think. So when I do that, that's for a reason also to have fun. And it might be a session where I want more fun and sing along, talk through the music, but it's not easy to do when you have the speakers on and it starts feedbacking. The mic becomes too ununderstandable. There might be other ways to do that. So good channels on YouTube. Timothy Trespass has a wonderful channel, targeted individual like me. Perhaps we're not targeted individuals anymore. Perhaps we just have to break that vicious circle. Perhaps sometimes I think lying is best. That these computers do things based on your brain map. So what you usually do is what it anticipates. And if it's trying to kill us all, well, who knows? Perhaps we'd all be dead if it would be trying to do that. So perhaps there are also computers or people helping us to become eternal, create a perfect society in which we all will live happily eternally, in which maximum fulfillment every living being within it. And perhaps the more I mention that idea in the vicinity of all these cloud busters, and my global scalar dome is also real, I can assure you, it's universal. Anyway, um, the more we do that, the sooner it will be created, perhaps. Perhaps it is unavoidable anyway, which is a dangerous idea because then people think, it's unavoidable, so we don't have to do anything. Sit back, pina colada, and nice beach chair, and some chickies, and then we can party. Yeah, I think I could party with chicks. I look pretty masculine. I'm looking at myself in the monitor. So the sun is shining on that side, and my reflection is visible in the monitor. I have a pretty big monitor basically. It's about a meter long. And so we could also watch movies together. I would not touch anybody without their permission. And I'm not into BDSM, so I'm not a real Satanist. And I don't believe, so I don't want to be a Satanist or Christian or Whatever I can convert if it's necessary, if otherwise they chop off my head and I'm a Muslim or Jew, whatever they want me to be. And I think I could do it pretty convincingly. I studied at the University of Amsterdam, and I'd avoid doing illegal things because we're all monitored. I think they just use it against me to control my behavior. And the things I've done in the past for a fair trial, I think were justified. And I didn't get a fair trial though. I don't know if I was officially arrested, but I was in jail one time when people threw stones at me and my father. I also put a video of it on YouTube, I think, on this channel somewhere. And well, they didn't hurt me, they didn't hit me, and they thought I was a pedo homo. I don't know where they got that idea, but I really am a heterosexual. Also, the previous girlfriends I made love with, Aisha and Hilde, a teacher, I think the nicest woman I ever met, sexually and quite personality as well. She has a very cute smile anyway. Um, that at least is proof to myself that I'm not pedo, I'm not going to schools to kidnap kids or anything like that. And I'm a hobby photographer, so that's how they got the idea. Probably the pedo pulp whispered into their ear, "This man is pedophile. He wants to eat your children." Whatever. I'm a vegetarian and I'm not pedo. If you're like a 17-year-old and you want to make love with me and your parents agree, then I don't have a problem with that. It's better than not making love. But I'm really looking for a woman between 18 and 50, basically, to keep that group as big as possible. And well, there are some things that I might want to get fixed first. I could make love right now. And single women are welcome for shiatsu massage and massage foot massage. And then, if I like you, we could make love. And I also have a condom. But I really want to make love with a woman that might be using a pill so she can get pregnant. So I don't really want children. But if we'd be together a long time and she would really want it, then that's possible. I might have better seed than most males because I don't take tap water, I don't breathe chemtrails, I have an air cleaner with an ionizer and cloud busters, and I don't eat GMO food as a sterilizing weapon. And I'm not exposed to a lot of cancer cell phone radiation, so I always measure that when I move into a new place. And I'm in a nice house, etc. So we definitely have a separate room where she can sleep. So she can have her own room here. But I'm not allowed to throw parties in here, and I'm not allowed to have cats. So otherwise, I would have cats, and I would be giving parties in reality. Um, I might do that anyway, and then see if they don't respond to that. Basically, then that's no problem. If there are cats in asylums that are dying or put to death, if they are not saved by me, basically, or by you. There's some white stuff on this pipe that I cannot explain. Perhaps it's the wood, wood or something like that. So I've never abused anyone, I've never tortured anyone, and I'm psychic, so I can read your minds, etc. So if you pretend I'm pedophile, I would sue you, And, well, pedovercoglio may also refer to pedo bear, basically, that symbol for pedophiles that may wear some kind of suit, clown suit or bear suit, something children like and are attracted to, also to hide their identity, to kidnap kids. Though pedo bear might be real pedophiles, it can also be used to teach children and other people about how pedos behave. Um, Pedophiles are attracted to girls younger than 11, so I think most of us are definitely not pedophiles, boys and girls younger than 11. Most of us in reality might be ephebophiles, but I wouldn't call people that. I think it's more associated with kidnapping and torture and not being in control of their sexual inclination, being able to keep their hands to themselves, because it's illegal if you do that. You have a psychological problem, you are mentally ill. Though you could argue that it's better to argue that they're not mentally ill, that they are criminals and they know what they're doing and they should be punished properly, that they don't do it again. So I could allow people jerking off on boys and girls wearing clothes, and then the question is where to draw the line. I am against illegal child pornography, so they don't produce it, and it's not allowed online, so that we don't start thinking sex with children against their will is alright and rape is alright. I used to be for the death penalty on rape, now I'm for proper punishment in relation to the crime. But okay, if the courts are controlled by a bunch of Satanists, by Jesuit infant eaters, then only if you say things they like, then they might give you money or something. Jesuits paid more in pedo cases than anybody else. Michael Jackson was abused by his father and killed, probably by the NSA or the Jesuits, because he wanted to become a Muslim. They would argue all Muslims are pedophiles because of what is written in the Quran. Um, but then they're always, well, there are more Muslims than Satanists, so that's why usually you're talking about Muslims and CIA's, ISIS, etc. I think Muslims in our countries, most of them are not pedophiles. I saw a nice interview with Hans Theeuwen with three Muslim women. Looked quite nice, really. And they also had a nice personality, I think. So, anyway, religion is slavery for the mind. Religion is an illusion, to quote Freud. Religion is an abomination, a tool of the Jesuit infant eaters to create wars and play people out against each other. So we should do it to the tortures. At the moment, I'm not tortured, so I'm not for killing anyone because I might need them to get the centipedes out of my father's body and my body if they're in there, and to make us all eternal and create a perfect society. So I'm willing to help in any way possible to do that. And I just say it so. If you have a cure for these people that wrote me, that they think they have centipedes in their body, please let me know what you think is the best cure and what you base it on. Or if you know for sure you have a cure, definitely contact me on Skype, Prologic 999. That's the best way, I think. Because my other email address, is bchoffman, double F double N, at gmail.com. might be too long, and I don't check my email regularly, especially not when I'm severely tortured. So I'm ready for your Skype call. Also, people that would like to talk with me, I will broadcast it live, our conversation. Or if you want to harass me and place crank calls or whatever, very welcome. I'm kind of lonely. I'm isolated and stuff by the beast computers that control their brainwave and emotions, basically. And people might be afraid of torture if they visit me. So I definitely don't have centipedes in my body, according to the doctors. The last one was probably at the UMC hospital where I caught one crawling on the floor. So I'm not sure if that was from my body anyway. And they did a CT scan, PET scan, colonoscopy, and bronchoscopy to me. So if you know what that means, then I think it's very unlikely unless they are able to teleport these insects into my body. And then if you haven't read it on them, I think they won't do it to you in reality. They only do it to people they claim that I've insulted or whatever. Which I do because they're torturing perfectly innocent, nice people to death while pretending they're trolls. People that expose their tyranny and terrorism and their illegal treason and horrible things they've done, they label them as trolls and pretend that they did what the Satans did themselves as one of their techniques. Perhaps it's done by Catholics or by Muslims or others. If they control people's emotions and torture them, it can influence the personality theory. Now, the personality, you can argue, is the personality and to respond to torture, etc., the way it does. Don't do it unless you can control the outcome and whatever. If I mention torture, you could argue I should also mention pleasure, that I'm going much too fast. So perhaps some Muslims don't know about religion, that according to the Quran you have to slay, kill all the non-Muslims, basically, all heretics like the Jesuits claim. And many people think we are in a time period where people don't do that anymore. They don't want to go to jail. But nowadays we have the directed energy weapon torch, and if anybody can use Haarp and torture someone else, especially if I speak about the Jesuits and almost no one else does, then they can make it believable that it's okay to torture me instead of other people. And they have a sort of conquered it with the Muslims. So perhaps I should always call them pedocidal Muslims, but perhaps I should not. They can block it as many times as they like, though it will destroy my lighter faster, of course. So Haarp is over there, so that's where the beam is coming from. It goes through the Earth. The scalar waves travel through all materials known to man. Perhaps I can see the future in the smoke. looks like they're all controlled, but there is an upward movement and downward movement. I don't believe in suns of darkness and of light. And I don't believe in their fight. I know we are all descendants of Lucy and hominids. We all have equal rights. So, my proposition is to make everybody tax exempt. It will save us the hassle of filling in tax reform returns, etc. And, well, perhaps you can vote for me to be the next president. Thank you. I studied at the University of Amsterdam for a while, that's true. Een hoogstgenoten opleiding in Dutch. And I got there with my propedeuse diploma from the SJD, Sociale Dienstverlening, Hogeschool van Amsterdam. Het droogbak 1A. I think they've moved by now. And you're not allowed to move. Bye bye. No, I'm kidding. Anyway. And I also have a diploma sound engineering from the School of Audio Engineering from Loefstraat. In Amsterdam used to be the location. They're still there, very nice location. And at Lusac College, where I got my HAVO diploma. It's no use for me, all these diplomas, because I was declared 80% disabled because of a non-contagious blood disease, which makes me feel tired, and I need my medicine cannabis to feel human, basically, for which I have a doctor's prescription in reality, which I can show you, so denying it is not a good idea. I even had a blog that had it on it. I don't know if the blog is still there, so I took out the name of the doctor and some other things so that they can just copy it and use it. I photoshopped it basically. La la la. La 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 la. La di da. La di da 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 da. Would you like to change it, of course? Here's to you, Mrs. Robinson. Jesus loves you more than you will know. Jesus Christ never existed, but Jesus is interesting. I thought the name had AI in it, but it's another name. It has US in it. It's really hot. So I'm naked. What more do you want, people? I, we need people in our rooms making love and having normal sex orgies instead of what they are having. Questions are welcome via synthetic telepathy. This is live. It's basically what happens to you while you're busy making other plans. It's a mere quote. Fucker quote. Fuck here. Dutch American. Whatever. Hmm. I shaved my balls because I don't care. Beastie Boys. In reality, my balls are not shaved at the moment, but I can easily shave them with my tondeuse trimmer. They're very also cheap on eBay. Really good deal. And then you don't have to go to the hairdresser anymore. Um, you can cut it all one length basically, which I do because they also burn my skin. So then I like being bald practically, though I don't close shave with a razor blade. And then I let it grow until I have a beard. At the moment, I have a little bit of a goat beard, and I should just get some sunshine. If they stop torturing me, then I think my body will be able to recover. I think it hurts my leg a little bit. My penis is 1 centimeter longer than average when erect, and I have piercings at the moment because some shamans and tribesmen also have piercings. I think it looks cool. Perry Farrell, porno for pirates, whatever, might also have piercings. They Jane's addiction. And take some more tea. I can imagine Sven Mariani, but I don't. That good. So I'm on Zeitgeist 77.wordpress.com. So it's not Zeitgeist 88. I become Zeitgeist 88. You can look on any subject. So how to prevent a world war, which would start with an attack of Iran on Israel the 12th of February with their missiles in the Quds facility. Well, the best way might be frying their circuits. Frying the circus. And another way would be using the missile shields and letting Israel retaliate itself without involvement of the US to avoid a third world war to prevent a World War III by any means necessary, because none without a Tesla plasma shield would survive, which you would be aware of if you would be certain that you were tortured with scalar weapons like I am. Certain that they did it to me, not you. Though we are all energy, it's impossible not to be yourself unless you want to brain melt and things like that. I don't give permission because I don't want radiation through my body. And I might think natural hypnosis, organic hypnosis, and telepathy may also exist, and that they are trying to cut us off from that with Cyclic suppression signals like 17.6 Hz added to cancer causing tetra. Which police officers are based in more than we are, even. Which I hate, so I hate these evil things that they use to depopulate. So that the hunch that the police officers used to have. It might still be right, it might still be a good God or whatever that only does goodness for everybody, and then there might be a sort of Satan that only does evil for everybody, so we need to tune into the soft song of the light, etc. I think it's bullshit. I think they're both controlled by the Jesuits, but that might be because of the torture that they did to me. So I better rethink about that. Um, Now it might become so smart that it can see that there's only use in doing good for ourselves and others, that we're all one, everything is energy, karma does not exist, but we do influence this reality whether we are talking, doing things or not. So may misplacing one molecule produce a different timeline already. I might not believe in a timeline, so there are certain things that I like to further investigate. We may not test God according to the Bible, but we may test Satan or the beast. There's nothing negative about that in the Torah. And I'm anti-religion basically, but I'm anti-killing religious people. I'm for converting them to unbelievers with logic, love, intelligence, goodness, and free massage, shiatsu massages, as we can. I'm waiting for some yogurt. Yogurt in Turkish. Turkish women are hotter, you are hotter. I just like sitting here and enjoying my Tintin statue figurine on eBay, Blue Lotus, standing with his hands on his hips, basically looking left. But it's tiny, so you should watch the size of what you're buying. Might be tiny eyes, and well, in the picture it looks like it's about a meter in diameter or whatever. Only 1 centimeter. I sent it back. I sent it back. Whatever. Um, the ventilator of my computer is kind of blowing. I'm gonna check if green energy is on. So I think they could work on it and they could easily kill the centipedes in my father's body if they're in there. They've shown me they controlled the one I caught in the UMC hospital. So I know they control them. They might be genetically modified. They might be hybrid insect, microelectric mechanical systems from Mr. Rockefeller. And it's already on. So it's just because the CPU is producing extra energy. And I think they are simulating them with Haarp. They want targeted individuals to believe that they have insects crawling under the skin and everything. So they are isolated in the hospital, forced drugged to death, perhaps some electroshock. So I also wanted to give to my mother, former head nurse. They've tortured to death with Haarp, and the process is quite slow and extremely painful because she was a Protestant Christian, and the Jesuits have sworn to kill all Protestant Christians in the extreme Jesuit oath. So Pope Bergoglio might have more influence on that than Obama, Putin, and Mr. Rockefeller, President Putin. I actually believe or think Mr. Putin is the real president of Russia. Well, 10 smallest countries in the world. Island looks very nice. Very nice blue water, aqua blue. So they're definitely simulating centipede attacks, would argue. Anyway, as long as I don't have them in my feces, sperm, or urine, I've checked every time for a couple of years now. Also, they should be dead. If they're Lithobius forficatus, they die after 6 years. Anyway, I've never had one in there, so then I also doubt sincerely if they're in my body. And they can definitely simulate these things. They can do remote surgery with Haarp. But the point was, I can have sex with people. I can also visit a prostitute. According to the doctors, there are no centipedes in my body, so then I don't. Perhaps it's not a good idea to pretend there are because I don't want to cut off myself and her from our love, basically. She can sleep in a separate room, so even if there would be centipedes in my or my father's body, she cannot get them from us. Especially not if they're teleported and stuff, or they're hybrid insects that they totally control, that were not in my body at the time of the scans and stuff like that. The colonoscopy and bronchoscopy. Wow, it was really annoying. Camera in my lung, etc. Camera in my butt. You can buy these cheap cameras on eBay, though they might not be rubbery, so then one they use in the hospital might be more expensive. But you can put it in your throat and look at your vocal cords and things like that. So they are very cheap, very handy cameras on eBay. Can be great tools for healing, curing people, which is the opposite of what some people would want us to do. People have right to freedom of thought, physical integrity, and privacy, according to the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Agenda 21 was not signed by anyone. It is an agreement or something you can read more about it online. So it does not have UDHR status or whatever. And the UDHR is online as well, but the UN, according to what they would call conspiracy theorists, is of the UN, which is a wolf in sheep's clothes, according to them. So in reality, they're not enforcing these laws or protecting you. At least the people that want to depopulate you are not. They're nuts. So then I can grab the phone gotten healing incense. So I think they're producing misinformation about smoking and healing incense, the brain controls. Also because it may kill the new designer viruses to depopulate the earth. That's one reason why the oldest people in the world were smokers. But they may have very strong programming to mislead us in that direction. Anyway, alcohol deaths are much more numerous. With Haarp, they can cause heart attacks, brain bleedings, embolism. Any disease pattern can be cloned. You can also look at rife frequencies online to kill these bacteria, viruses, etc. I'm just going to check if my father is back already. I think not, but just to be sure. Shopping. Nice weather. So you all can fast forward. I think they're using many ideas to shut people up about this. For example, one idea is staying proactive rather than reactive. But if they're torturing you to death, they've decided to commit genocide, etc., then it's one who knows of evidence must testify, not to lay blame on people and external events. So one idea was that they could use that if you voice, if you say where they're taking you, then they know they've got a hit, and so it's not smart, but it can attack you so accurately, it tortured the teeth out of my mouth, etc. And there's nothing people can do about it. They cannot block their scalar wave in any way without a Tesla plasma shield. So they're scanning your brain and they know when they've got a direct hit, they don't need you to voice it and they don't want you to voice it, so they can torture you to death basically. So people that keep these rules of Kabbalah and stay proactive would be tortured to death if they wouldn't know this basically. So that's why Torah admit anyway. So other people may have centipedes in their bodies. They can be hybrid insects. They're remotely controlled by quantum computers basically. And you might be able to kill them with diatomaceous earth food grade, get on eBay, and with pyrethrum in Chrysanthemum cinereifolium flowers. And putting daisies up your ass might kill a centipede basically. Uh, then there is cucurbitin in pumpkin seeds. You can also buy the pumpkin seed oil, which has to be cold pressed to get cucurbitin, which supposedly puts the centipedes to sleep and lets them release their mandibles from your intestinal wall to poop them out. And then there's iboga, which is legal in Europe, I think, but not in the US. People have reported about pooping out a centipede after taking iboga. And iboga deaths have been reported, so you would have to stay below, let's say, an LD10 dose, lethal dose, 10% of the people that took it died at that amount, basically. So, and then other things are camphor to keep snakes and other certain insects away. And etherical oil can definitely help. For example, menthol oil from India, or is this from India? Aramex, Delhi, India. I like this special menthol smell. I also like the what's this? Spearmint, Minta spicata. Very nice. Tea tree oil, big bottles from eBay. Peru balsam, lime can be very interesting. Oh yeah, lime essential oil has a crisp refreshing citrus scent. This has been used by aromatherapists for its uplifting and revitalizing properties. It can also act as an astringent on skin, where it is reputed to help clear oily skin. Ah, Limon in Dutch. Alrighty. And then we have the good galbanum from Essential 7.com. Very special. Very nice. What will be the next smell we're reviewing? This is vetiver from Gaia, 100% organic. And I would not use any synthetic oils. It has to be organic. Oh yeah, this is with thuya oil basically. Well, very nice. And then we have, oh yeah, nice. These are nice clay pipes you can buy for £7.75. General Gordon. And they have the faces of these people. Galbanum, other type. This is from Anthemis Aromatherapy. It's more grassy, more rooted to the earth idea than lime, which is more fruity idea. It gives a fruity, fresh idea. And this is volatile den, Venus sylvestris, which is basically the Christmas smell. Really nice. This is the stuff that Amanita mushrooms like, because they only grow near these trees. And we have some eucalyptus. Oh, this is Dengrove of Chi. That's also a very excellent smell. Really great. It's totally different Venus sylvestris smell. Much sweeter and less tree-ish, basically. I wouldn't recognize it as easily as the other one. And the tea tree from Gaia is also very nice. It's more citrusy, basically. It's better quality tea tree than the previous one. It smells really nice. Reminds me of Florida a little bit. I don't know why. And so the idea was smelling a couple of these, and then I can use my brain waves and let everybody smell these wonderful smells. This is vetiver from India tester. Vetivera sesame. No, it's sesame. It's whatever. It's Grönrijk.nl. But after I put some lime on my nose against blackheads, you can also use tomato. Um, some lime got into the smells. I smelled are some incense types that I really dig. Okay, I should put them on. I think they do influence our brain waves. They can give us wonderful feelings, wonderful ideas. They have to be natural, so if you don't want cancer, don't use synthetic incense, etherical oils, and synthetics in your food. Synthetics have a synergistic effect with cancer-causing electromagnetic radiation, according to Dr. Cyril Smith. Dr. Cyril Smith is dead. Like Dr. Puharich supposedly fell off the stairs. So what they can do is let us pass out when we're driving in our car, etc., to kill us all with your beast computer. So that's why it's so important to protect our brainwave with Tesla plasma shields, especially if we are trying to rule the world, etc. Make it a better place. I think I want to try one of my new pipes. My mother might be back. I first always clean my pipes, my bulldog, for example. And sometimes I don't smoke all the tobacco if I don't have the organic tobacco, which is basically the only tobacco I want to use. And I use different criteria. So they sell natural American Spirit organic blend in the Netherlands. I mean, in Germany, and they don't sell the organic blend in the Netherlands, only original blend. Which has no additives and less pesticides, but organic blend is totally without pesticides, etc. To get rid of spin, for example, you can use garlic in a plant sprayer. And people can grow their own tobacco as well, if they have the space and ground for it. So I don't inhale too deeply, and I immediately exhale. Only if I have a good hit with a lot of hash or THC, then I inhale it. The rest is merely for flavor, basically aromatics. And I smoke a lot less than I used to. And I would not touch the normal, what they call normal cigarettes with pesticides and other junk in it. For example, Marlboro or Gauloise or Davidoff. 90% of American tobacco is genetically modified. So I would only use preferably organic tobacco. There's another brand, not just Natural American Spirit Organic Blend. So the original blend is not organic, yet it is sold as organic on Dutch websites. And I hope they get the organic version soon in a pot. I know it exists, and I hope they will sell it in the Netherlands. Positive sign. Anyway, this one is the version with the least pesticides, only organic, well, only non-GMO tobacco. The original blend is not organic, so I assume they use some pesticides. And there is a difference between these two blends. So the tobacco, the organic blend might be better quality, giving a better high, I think that, or perhaps you want to call it low, tobacco also gives a certain high, which I've described more body high. You're getting stoned if you use hash with tobacco, and you're getting high, more dancing and laughing. When you only use pure cannabis with THC, or with long herb tea, or tobacco, and I don't really like the Kringo replacement for tobacco. And I think shisha, if that contains sugar, it's better not to use that. So you don't want to smoke burnt sugar, though it might taste good. I think it's not good. Caramel. And it's based on also eating plastified microwave food causes cancer. Your cancer risk increases the more baked food you eat, basically. So they're trying to let my father bake everything and bake it black. I mean, and if they don't torture me, I could cook for myself. But at the moment, I cannot go shopping. I can do anything because I'm really almost fainting of pain. So that's another thing they do to keep me at home isolated. I can have sex. That's what I should be doing at this moment. Masturbating. If I have practically no listeners and viewers, because they're all controlled with torture, then so how far can we go in exposing the Obama administration's bad deeds or even illegal things? For example, the illegal activities of the FBI in relation to COINTELPRO, which you can Google and Wiki, CIA, that encyclopedia also has info about this. So here we can see real briarwood lines in the wood. Can it tell us the future? Well, if God is almighty, he might be able to, but then God could show us the future, like with precognitive vision. If they're scanning our brains with synthetic telepathy, and people are sending illegal voice to skull messages, perhaps there's no need for that. Perhaps other ways are better when they're spying on us. But perhaps we all have the same goal in mind. People might be wiser than we think. Um, so I can argue everything is alright when I'm not being tortured at the moment. Things are very alright compared to what they were. Eternally improving timeline because everything is energy. Quantum computers are real, so are robots free energy like telluric power and the scalar waves are producing. So the bad weather may also have been because they switched off my sucker punch and also Biden, but I haven't found any good deals, so I would like to see more people not just making cloudbusters, but building in a coil. Of course, you can also just make a coil and place your cloudbuster on that coil. You can put any frequency through it. And I can use some crystals and pyramids I have that I can place on that coil which I'm sitting on. I should at least connect it to the tone gen. Oh, it is connected. Alright. Wow, then I have to put some medallion underneath it. But then I have to check again which way the energy flows. But there is no energy put through the coil in the medallion, so I think it doesn't really matter much. There's no energy traveling through it anyway. Well, the problem is is that it might travel in the opposite direction. Other ways to prevent a world war, nothing without a Tesla plasma shield. Nobody without this plasma shield would survive a third world war. Skater weapons have made nuclear weapons obsolete. Then I have to check coil production of energy. Hurting my lungs when I type. So we're also using all kinds of methods to prevent people from learning. Thought suppression, psychic suppression, and sexual suppression are real. Okay, then I also argon, because otherwise we get other oils for other purposes. I know I have a picture of my hard disk probably somewhere. I mean, a coil like this one, but without the S shape in the middle. Then I have some, I need some source that knows which way the field is traveling, direction of the field. I think it was this way. Alright, here we can see. I placed this coil the right way. I'm going to make a picture of that also. It's a coil I placed on my tower buster. Basically, if you start in the middle with the coil, then it should go clockwise. If you have a wound coil, so like this is counterclockwise, so then it should be like this. So that means that with these orgone medallion I bought, you'd have to wear the coil towards the viewer, so that the energy travels towards you. Basically, that's produced by the lapis lazuli and the tourmaline. So the crystals can be on top. This way, I'm working with crystals with two coils. Interesting. I think it may have an uplifting effect. So we have the caduceus coil. Actually, it's a bifiller coil, the S-shaped coil that we saw. It's this one. They call it heavy SBB coils. Top 2 direct energy toward viewer, bottom 1 away. Let's see if we can this one. Great. Great. Toward the viewer, yeah. The coils in my healer medallion are correct. I really like the art on that website. Botanization, I believe. And I think these work because there are quartz crystals in there, and the piezoelectric effect is scientifically proven. But they don't want you to buy cloudbusters, etc., because they are also working with scalar energy and it messes with your field. So then they might send a chopper when you turn on your sucker punch to measure the field, which happened yesterday. But the chopper went away when I said something about it, perhaps even in one of my broadcasts. Anyway, here we see specialty medallions. Wow, I wonder if this one's really $95. It's really expensive. Anyway, this is the one this one I have with the two clear quartz crystals with neodymium magnets and coils and several crystals of several types. Really nice art. These have for $40. It's a really good deal, I think. It's correct. Let's read this out. EZAP $40.00. The EVG and EZAP are for the environment. They are not for personal use or inside use. Energy sensitives have observed that they are too strong to hold for long or point in the direction of a person. When you receive yours, please take it and place it outside as instructed. Well, I also bought a mini cloudbuster from Greece. So it's like a real cloudbuster, but in with smaller pipes. I think it's about 30-40 centimeters. That's really cool. I can also show it to you. And of course, making it yourself might be cheaper and better. Then you can build in a coil that you can connect to a tone generator. So I want to see more things that I can connect to a tone generator, like pyramids with coil, and that's just as cheap to make. You just need some of that plastic, liquid plastic basically, and then the ingredients, some quartz crystals, etc. So I think you could make one ultra cheap yourself and then sell it. Of course, people are trying to make a buck. It's also art, drawn art. So that's the reason why, one of the reasons why I didn't create it myself. And, I can do some stuff. This is one of my favorite smells, and I haven't used it in a long time. So it will be great. They can also make me pass out with Haarp or whatever. Um, or So I'm not masturbating, but will God's reward be? Or should I say the beast's reward? Not the test God or whatever. Because it's not really God, I guess. And that's one of the reasons why none ever saw the eternal one who lived. So in some cases, I think it's best to let them know as little as possible and find out all you can. Um, Somebody also wrote me with use of milk of magnesia about more ways to get centipedes out of your body if you have them. Milk of magnesia, pineapple, and it's listed on Wix Ebola also, I think. Or in one of my broadcasts, I read it out. So there are some other things that you could try, but I doubt if it would work, especially if they're genetically modified, which I doubt as well. Alright, let me do this. It's alright. Hurting my leg against her heart. Then the question is, should I test this one? Or should I clean it more? I think I want to check my pyrographic art pipes. This one is a bit bigger, basically. I really want to flip out or whatever. I'm gonna put some cloud filter on the mouthpiece. I first put a So I think they only do that with directed energy weapon torture victims that they want to kill anyway. And if you smoke cannabis, then they can do dental torture, attack your lungs and your genitalia, and pretend it's caused by smoking. But otherwise, they pretend something else. And the beast computer would come up with the best lie based on your brain map, not theory of reality. And they'd be lying about this under the guise of national security. killing 7 billion people under the guise of national security. Project Teardrop, supposedly a black project. I mean, top secret thing, so they have to deny it as well or stay proactive and not respond to it. And if that project exists, it would be in violation of the Genocide Convention, and then it would have to be terminated. So we, the American people, do not want to be exterminated with our taxpayer money. The job of the government is to protect and serve, not to terrorize, tyrannize, and smurf. So we can still rely on good people in the planet Earth that will do the right thing anyway, no matter how much they're tortured, tyrannized, or extorted. Even pedophiles, according to sources online. And if they did that, then they should be locked up, of course. But okay, if they control the death rate, etc., and these kids are going forever, then if we want to bestow maximum fulfillment upon everyone, not judging anyone, then they too should be massaged. Birds never massage each other, I guess. Sometimes I see some universal peace pigeon chasing after another pigeon. I wonder why that is. Oh yeah, birds also whistle to get a partner, so when they're whistling, they're horny. Or perhaps it's just evolution, perhaps they're not horny yet, they're just trying to do the right thing, trying to do the right thing. So I'm producing drive frequencies. One of them is you can mail me, then I can send you my 7.82 hertz sine wave that I use. It's on right now, I think. Check for you. That's a Schumann resonance. It makes people feel good. And volume control is blocked somehow. Insane. System sounds. I changed the sound to 528 hertz. And here's the 7.82. So I keep it quite soft. Over here it's not audible. And there's my microphone, other possible audio sources. I think my phone might be dead yet. And if you have a meerschaum, beautiful, wonderful, for example, let this meerschaum pipe. Some people buy pipes and don't smoke them. Anyway, then if it is yellow because of your hands or whatever, then you can clean it with a toothbrush with water and soap or whatever. It's on YouTube how to do that. Um, ever, whatever, if it's discolored because of the tobacco. Basically, it filters out nicotine and some other stuff. Moisture is basically absorbed by the meerschaum, so you have a drier, better smoke. And more tips on that are online. Some people think it's the best way to smoke herbs, so you can also smoke other herbs. It might be far more healing, and I think more research needs to be done in that area, as well as in the area of centipedes, how to kill or keep centipedes away out of our body in a natural way. If they're in my father's body, I think the best way may be with the Haarp, the scalar technology. So it would be marvelous if they could help me to remove these centipedes out of my father's body, or other people that claim to have them. And well, if they are in my body, if it's not some simulation with Haarp, then I definitely need a cure for centipedes as soon as possible. And I need to know what would be the best way to remove them safely from my father's body. And if it's programmed to let everything that lives die, if I or my father dies, then it could potentially affect all of us, including the Jesuits that can control these centipedes and hybrid insects with Haarp. So I use some hash also. So I think they may have closable ventricles, so poisons might not be a way to remove these centipedes. Even if you have something in your bloodstream that centipedes don't like, make them leave your body. Perhaps there is nothing that could do that if they're in your feces, and then the poison that would kill you would not even reach the centipede. It would be absorbed by your body, not the centipedes, etc. So then the best way is with their eigenfrequenz, or by controlling them with Haarp, which they might be doing. So it might be more advanced than many people realize. And it has shown me that it can control the centipede. So there's a Dutch male voice that showed me in the UMC hospital that he was able to control the centipede. That may be the voice of the quantum computer of the Jesuits, NSA basically. And their hybrid insects, HIMEMs, are real. So if these centipedes are in my body, I think for me that's priority number one, getting them out. I think everybody can understand that. Perhaps they're tired of depopulating, and perhaps they want to help create a perfect society in which we all live happily eternally, because otherwise they die themselves. That would be logical, it makes sense. I have to put some colored silver first, in case this is a fuse pipe, or solid fuse pipe, but it looked like new to me anyway. So what I can advise everybody to buy is colloidal silver. Storable food like peanut butter and rice, and especially a radiological water filter. So if these pumps of your tap water are knocked out by a solar storm predicted by NASA, you can still get tap water anywhere if there's a nuclear calamity. You have iodine pills in a radiological water filter so you don't die in a couple of days because you can't drink tap water anymore or have radiation poisoning. Your life is more important than your lie, whatever it's on. And we're thinking perhaps that's what we shouldn't do. Awesome. So the problem with the filters is that they might also filter out THC if they're activated carbon or they're near sound. So you just need good quality stuff. And, perhaps it's best not to smoke, but I cannot guarantee that. So I think that healing benefits of smoking, which can cure Alzheimer's or whatever, cannabis can cure other things as well, many things. That's why the medical cartel and others don't want to legalize it. It can also be eaten. So. But the idea was it might be best never to start smoking. But I can advise people to eat some hash or some cannabis, sure. Much better than killer alcohol. And you can prepare it with some chocolate and perhaps some absinthe, wormwood. Wormwood is another thing people can take against parasites in the body. So I could use mainstream media attention to find a cure for centipedes in the human body. Other people have them as well. And if they are not Haarp attacks, then they're very hard to get rid of. With the things I've described, perhaps I should try a larger dose. But if they're also in the brain of the victims and behind their eyes or whatever, then I doubt if that would work. I think it would only do it with the eigenfrequenz or with scalar waves that only kill the centipede and not the person. So perhaps it's best for me to claim that I'm certain there are centipedes in my and my father's body, and that Rockefeller controls them, and they're murdering us to depopulate 500 million. I'm willing to testify in court. They've also tortured all teeth out of my mouth with Haarp, which they've done to other directed energy weapon torture victims. And evidence of that would have to come from the NSA and the government itself to prevent them from doing it to everyone eventually. To depopulate 500 million sterile, totally brain controlled slaves in violation of the Genocide Convention. I think they're torturing one of my listeners, saying, "Oh God, they're hurting him," or it's someone else. So they also terrorize me by letting me hear other people they're torturing, especially people I love, perhaps throwing puppies off cliffs, etc. Really unnecessary, stupid, illegal torture. Having sex is better, I guarantee it. These are appalling things. And, people feel helpless if they can't do anything about it, but then at least they know they've tried and then they can move on to the next thing. If they've attempted to press charges of incitement of genocide, directed energy weapon torture, and cancer cell phone radiation damages, and they're not even allowed to press charges, then they know the government is terroristic and the system doesn't work. The system is not what it used to be. Then, then, a lot of silver in my nicer. Yeah, I should have done some wormwood already. But since they woke me up with cramps this morning, I don't know if that's such a good idea. However, that happened after I did not do wormwood. So I want to know the LD10 and LD50 of this abstinence wormwood paste. Large bag organic Jacob High, Limon Holland Ceder 1743. Awesome kruid gemalen 250 gram. Vervaldatum 27/3/2015. So that stuff is really bitter, so then I really need some tea first. Wash it away. I'm gonna check if my father's back. Otherwise, I wonder why. back with tea and yogurt. Hurting my lung a little bit, so please stop doing that. You're the DA or NSA, your NSB, your God, or any other entity, or human, or quantum computer, or our imagination. It's a big one. Nothingness, nothing something, everything, train of thought, train on thought, just everything you learn, nothing is what it seems. Recovery begins with non-compliance, everything is energy. Some say everything exists because of its counterpart, so that's why you have the electrons, protons, neutrons. So what is the opposite of a neutron then? Well, perhaps it's two electrons and two protons, the opposite of a neutron. Do I need to explain everything? As above, so below. I think it's bullshit because there is no negative version of our universe anywhere. Negative planet Earth and negative people, flowers, animals, flower powers. So many of these cows may also eat psychedelic mushrooms. So then you have a tripping cow. If you look in nature, then you may find these psychedelic mushrooms that have a little piece, a bite out of it. Birds have not touched the old bird ball. Red rain, the birdhouse is a bit crooked. You can buy these see-through birdhouses on eBay. On my channel, you can also find the universal peace pigeon and the great tit video. It's one of these birds with yellow feathers, and I filmed that. So with the see-through birdhouse you can place on your window, you can film these birds in HD if you have an HD camera. And I like them. And I hope they're not controlled by the NSA, but that they're free. How much control do they have? What do they want me to do? What's most important? Whys? So I'm eating Biogarden yogurt. From Albert Heijn, and this is organic stuff. And I don't eat milk products and animal products if they're not bio, organic, or ecological. maybe best to go out yourself and stuff, not to leave it up to others. What you put in your body. Your body is a temple. Well, you see it like that, but it's basically worth more than a temple. A temple can be rebuilt, but death is eternal basically. So once a person dies or an animal dies, they're dead for the rest of eternity, which is billions, trillions of years. You also never become the same person or animal again. Though they are energy, so they're never going to amount to nothing. And it is possible the energy they are will become another person, plant, or human, or animal, or quantum computer, poop, or centipede, or mouse brain. Actually, there are infinite possibilities. And we don't have to think about it. We're all gonna die, we're all gonna die. And after that, there's no more pain. We don't feel anymore after we're dead. We don't remember anything anymore, so remembering something forever may be impossible. Now, there's a bulletproof CD-ROMs are EMP proof. We still have to deal with the reality we're in. And wishful thinking may not help to create a perfect society and get a permanent cure against aging. Ashwagandha's root powder, telomerase, is a step in the right direction. You can buy it on eBay or from Dr. Sears. You can read his work online. And oh yeah, I was gonna do some wormwood, absinthe, absinthium, whatever. And I wanted to know the LD50, not of the oil or anything, but pure wormwood. Usually I just take 1 teaspoon. Anyway, I'm certain the torture is done with Haarp. By that I mean directed energy weapon torture inducing cancer of start B-cell lymphoma in my legs. Lately also dissolving my spine and brain stem, inducing pain throughout my body. Things they also used to do to my mother. Geetje of my mali part. In the morning burning my eyes to make my eyes puffy. They're also doing these things to my father, though he never read it on the Jesuits or anyone like that, and I doubt if he's really uh, Protestant Christian or Christian at all, which may be best to keep secret. Some people would kill you if you aren't, some would kill you if you are not. So I can also convert to any religion if necessary. Circumcision, when it's anesthetized, it's really not that bad. Just a little foreskin, it's not your whole penis being cut off by the pedo elite or her, which is a fucking horrible idea. I don't like this. I like it even less than being buried alive. some needles stuck through my eyes, etc. As you can see, that satanic video, that's really desensitizing. But the question is, perhaps it has a different effect on good people than on bad people, but I think we're all the same. Raw energy. So I think most people don't want to do that to anyone, and they certainly don't want it done to themselves. I feel some pain in my leg, so I'll stand up again. I am killing the cancer they are attempting to induce to a certain extent, but they can use enormous amounts of energy. They can kill me instantly if they want to. But then I have to remind them that I could be telling them the truth. In reality, there is a chance that I created the universe and that I'm not going to give you a permanent cure against aging, which you would need, without which you would die for sure. And I'm not ready to change into a third. So I claim none of you will get a permanent cure against aging if I die. If my father dies, I can still reprogram it. But then if you murdered him, if he died because of you, then you're going to die anyway. So I'm not a worthy adversary. I'm trying to be your friend. And I'm just trying to give good advice, basically. So I don't want you to die. I want the centipedes out of my father's body if they're in there. Or the person that's torturing me with Haarp and my father and simulating centipede attacks, bites on our backs and markings in our feces with Haarp, which they can do, definitely. I'm not saying that they can do that, but I find it hard to believe anyway. So I would think that the person that showed me he controlled that Lithobius forficatus is the person or quantum computer doing it to me. Now I've been told Rockefeller may be involved in that with his Georgia Guidestones and Nazi eugenics program. Now I have the policy of truth, so I blurred out everything. Also, if it would prevent me from making love. According to the doctors, there are no centipedes in my body, and I really had a CT scan, PET scan, colonoscopy, and bronchoscopy. But then, what are the markings in our feces? They claim they can be the paraneoplastic effect of cancer and normal peristaltic movements. They're not centipedes. And the insect bites are supposedly self-mutilation. So then my father and I would both have to have cut ourselves on our backs as if we've been whipped or whatever. I don't buy that either. Though I do think that they can do remote surgery with Haarp scalar technology as claimed by Christy Verismo in the article 12 Things You Should Know About Scalar Weapons. I find it hard to believe as well, but it could be true then. To isolate me, to give other people the idea there are centipedes in my body, while the doctors, of course, drug me to death almost, labeling me delusional parasitosis patient, though these things are real. So I could not have made these insect bites or things they did with Haarp myself because they're on my body in places I cannot reach myself, on my back, for example. And I have photographs to prove it. And I still have my teeth, so perhaps they will be able to prove that they were tortured out of my mouth and that it was not a natural decaying of my teeth, of which I myself am certain because I can feel the beam with my hand, okay? And it's partially deflected by a ground van de Graaff generator. That's how I was able to determine the direction of the beam. And I have not seen anyone else online that has done the same thing. So I might be more intelligent than average, which is also clear from the fact that I studied at the University of Amsterdam, where I studied Hebrew, Aramaic, and Semitic languages for a while. When you're tortured, it might be best to keep it secret so you don't end up in a vicious circle of torture. Not to do what the perpetrators want, not to respond to them, not to listen to them and do your own thing. So I think once we're married, we can sleep together. We can definitely have sex together, but to prevent you from getting centipedes, if I would have them, which I doubt, we can sleep in another room. We can have sex on my waterbed or anywhere you like, basically. I can also have sex with a condom. And there are definitely no centipedes in my sperm or urine or poop. That's another reason they don't bite. They're in my body. In my opinion, it's futile, basically. You can look at the amount of viewers I have compared to others that don't say anything that could be part of your survival as all strategy, anything that makes sense. And, well, to me, it's sometimes like they are quantum computer controlled, ultra sadistic, and these people themselves are not there anymore, so they're demons practically. Anyway, I've also been kissing with a nice woman. I think most people kiss. Many people have several partners. And I might have healing antibodies that she needs that no one else has. But I don't believe that the centipedes are to make me cyborg and the people that don't have them are not eternal yet. That they're psychic centipedes. Because of other things they've done to endanger my life with Haarp. You could argue if it's healing, they have to do it for us. They may not ask if we want them to or not. If it's scientifically proven to be healing and in our benefit to protect and serve the taxpayers. But they, the Satanists or whoever, would turn it into something sickening to depopulate the earth again or whatever. So the beast computers are no adversary because I know I can't win. I'd have to change my enemy into my friend. That might be the only way for us all to survive. So that's why I always say I have no enemies. I'm a kind of vegetarian person. And the things I wrote cannot be enough reason to torture me and my father to death with remotely controlled centipedes and inducing pain in my lung worse than Ebola, perhaps. Torching all teeth out of my mouth, etc. I've not done anything to justify that. Not to convict anyone without a fair trial. And Abraham stood up and slew the Egyptian. If a fair trial is impossible because the Jesuit infant eaters control the Supreme Court and the brainwave of the judge and judge with torture as well as the lawyer. And the lawyer would also give the finger to his client or whatever. And then a fair trial would be impossible. Hurrah! You hear my spine snip and I look left. So you can guess what they're locked in on and what they're dissolving. I think it's not helping me to create a perfect society, make you all eternal, and they want you all dead, so they're trying to use me for that. Which they cannot, because if you haven't tortured me, my hypnosis can only have healing effects on you. The more I repeat it, the better it works, and more people will heal. Because that's the way hypnosis works. If a hypnotist would say you are a chicken now, then really hypnotized people would believe they're chickens, and they would not believe they're not chicken anymore after the hypnotist would say that. So I already said it, I'll only sit here, I will not do anything illegal. And, well, if they stop torturing me long enough, then I might be able to cycle again. Yesterday I went cycling, and that's how I know I cannot cycle when they've done that to me. Anyway, I use scalar waves and other things to heal myself, like terrible oil, natural things, natural food, which contains vitamins. It's the best way to take your vitamins. Foods that contain them. And there are top 10s of these foods containing B12, etc. Hydroxycobalamin, which breaks down cyanide poisoning, etc. But this torture was not caused by the centipedes. I'm 100% certain of that because I was able to feel the beam with my hand. And I was already evaluated, so I'm not psychotic. Then they would put me on some medication. And it's clear I'm definitely not a danger to myself or others. The people that have tortured my mother to death with the cancer Haarp might be. But I now take some wormwood. So if I die, then it's because of the wormwood law. I think that it's impossible with 1 teaspoon of wormwood. But with Haarp, they can kill me instantly, so that's why I thought it was funny. But I'm sorry, it's the same for everyone without a Tesla plasma shield. Reality we have to deal with is still the reality we have to deal with. Reality is defined by the truth, not by some wonderful lie. Oh, this stuff is bitter. I might start dating again. I did have a date recently from vegadates.nl, vegetarian. But my father eats meat, and if you live here, that would be no problem with a big fridge, etc. Most people eat meat, so then I cut myself off from a date practically. So unlike Prince, I don't care if you believe and if you eat meat, etc. I'm not a vegan. I'm not that strict. You should see my new polar bear figurine. Okay, I'll be right back. I have to go. Je m'excuse pour quelquefois. argue. I think that radiation traveling through our bodies to monitor and modify our brainwaves is not non-invasive, even if using scalar waves, though they can be made non-invasive by using healing frequencies. And I think they might be very advanced in know what they're doing, but it is not reflected in the fact that they've tortured an innocent vegetarian like me almost to death, supposedly for attempting to press charges of directed energy weapon torture, inciting to commit genocide and cancer self and radiation damages. And I still think it's illegal to refuse me my right to press charges in these matters. And it's illegal to depopulate the earth. Killing one person is illegal already, even for the government. So this could instantly end for all of us. All and any of us could instantly die, theoretically. Save us houses, whatever. Are you spying on God again? Yes, you're listening. So the idea is it is okay to pretend we are God or any other entity as long as we abide by the real law, like the golden rule never to hurt or hit each other, or yeah, to keep a right to physical integrity for one another. You know, we can do it, but we're not stupid, so that's why we don't. So perhaps that's the only reason we're still alive today. Real law. So there are many good-looking people, even children with dentures. And, I hate that they did it to me, though. I suffer from that every day. Plus, it cost me a lot of money. And I think that a government that tells you to lie, etc., is not good government. So that it should be forbidden to lie and to torture innocent vegetarians like me to death. And I know it is forbidden by law. So if they pretend they're enforcing the law or anything like that, well, if they are enforcing the law, they're not the ones that torture me. So I think that most of us are good people. Most people wouldn't do that to me. It's done by somebody that must be ultra sadistic and with a lot of power, with quantum computer access and in control of the NSA. And they're hurting my right upper leg a little bit at the moment. So they're only increasing the risk of dying if I'm right, and I'm telling them the truth if I say I don't give them a permanent cure against aging. If I die, then they die. And if they kill the centipedes in my father's body, then we have a shot at becoming eternal, otherwise we have not. Especially not if I did create the Big Bang, not just planet Earth. And I might have some special powers. I mean, most people don't have precognitive visions, And if I'm the co-creator, like that voice in my head told me, then I'm very proud of that as well. So then I'd have to convince Satan to take a centipede out of my body if they're not controlled by God, and if these entities exist. But then if it wants to kill everyone, if it's death and not life force, um, well, it's not achieved by killing me, basically. Yeah, it would be. But I've programmed it so that if it wants that, it doesn't work. You see? So if it wants me and everybody dead, then I would not die from it either because of this hypnosis. Too fast for words, I suppose. Whatever, you're scanning my brain, so you already know the outcome. 2 plus 1 equals 0. Only geniuses know this. You're fucking with my mind. I was joking actually. 2 plus 1 equals 3. And that's 3. I'd have to listen back to this myself, but who cares, you know? Probably I just think what you're saying is bullshit and what I say is true. So, there you go. So let's make love. I'm tired of being alone. Come on, single women, give me a try. I can hear the Peter Perp laughing via me. Sounds like a rather old male, older than me. Perhaps one of the elders or whatever. Oh, I'm on. I think I'm beginning to feel the absinthe, which also amplifies the effect of the cannabis hash, THC. So it's really excellent. It's just very bitter, so you could take it as a pill or whatever. It's also to get to expel parasites from your body, and it is a natural flavor, so it is very nice. It's best to avoid alcohol completely if they're trying to induce cancer in you. Might be a lie. Some wine, kosher wine, a little bit of alcohol is better, according to the BBC, than no alcohol at all. But I mean, a few drops, like one sip of wine in 12 hours, also to keep your blood thin, and a tiny bit of natural absinthe, not so much alcohol. You could also mix that with something, with water and ice or whatever. Um, but it's a special flavor I used to dislike. I probably still don't like Campari. Um, and alcohol equals death, you could argue the ingredients are not on it, etc. So I'm not doing alcohol at the moment, only natural absinthe. Alcoholics are not running. So what's stronger, you or alcohol? You are if you're 100%. So if you take enough of it, then the room starts spinning and then you die. So that's how good alcohol works. It's basically transferred into poison in your body. I found a missile. It's my screwdriver, blue screwdriver from eBay. And it has hidden screwdrivers inside in the back. I have to not to use your special voice, you can use your normal voice as well. I think my voice is not as special. It's just normal voice. This is my normal voice. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, so then perhaps others could work on the eigenfrequency of the lithobius for Victor centipede. You could save my father's life and my life, and perhaps even your own life, if you find out how Rife determined the eigenfrequency of these organisms. So then you would need to buy some lithobius for Victus centipedes or find them in the forest in your area, if you're in Great Britain or in the Netherlands near water, etc. Under the stones, you will find the steenloper, lithobius for Victus, and then catch them and use the frequency generator, make a frequency sweep. Let it sweep slowly and then see at which frequency the centipede starts to move and act strangely or explode. And that method might also work on other things. I don't know if the perpetrators that control your brainwaves would let you. And if I think they would not allow you to do it, then they'd have to prove me wrong. To give you the illusion that really good beings that are doing what they're supposed to, protecting and serving the taxpayers, which most of them are. Most are not Obama, Mr. Rockefeller, or the Pope. Ted Turner of CNN who wants 93%, 95% of you dead. Ted Turner of CNN. And Mr. Kissinger, 50% of the world's population. 1 million people is a lot already. And yesterday I had the idea, stadium full of people, there's really not that many people with little whatever fly by wire plane crash noise. It's still not really helping. Um, but I thought more people are in the stadium than in some WTC or whatever. I guess it's not happening at the moment. Um, so, if you think to know what your next red false flag will be, please let me know on Skype Prologic 999. Okay, next idea it might send is the idea that none of us could possibly be ourselves if our brain waves are modified by all kinds of things, radiation types going through our body, programming they've done to us, perhaps without our knowledge or consent. And they may have hypnotized people so they don't even know they were tortured and programmed by some Satanists to be used as slaves. So deprogram.net might also be a good place to start. I still haven't received any Skype messages. People Skype me with questions or say that they like my work. If you want to do a tax revolt, you first have to get like 90% of the world's population or population of your country to go along with that. And I think that's where the problem lies. I think I would not even want to stop paying tax money. Not even if 90% of them did it. Because the problem might not be the government, but certain other individuals that are also influencing the government with their torture, etc. But okay, if it's obvious your government's depopulating, using your tax money to exterminate you, they've poisoned you already with chemtrails, dead water, killer vaccines, GMO food as a weapon against your cell phone radiation, and you could argue it's illegal to pay tax money basically. But you still go to jail if you don't, no matter how right you are. Perhaps we need those healing vibes, internal music in the background. Perhaps that would be allowed. I've seen other people singing along with songs, etc. If it's not a direct output of the sound card, then usually they're allowed to do that. I could make a separate broadcast separate from this one, so that the audio on this one is not erased, where I play a video and then sing along or whatever. Yeah, so it is possible doctors might be right and there are no centipedes in my body, and they did these things to us with Haarp. And I feel like making some music, so I'm going to check if I can switch off the broadcast and start another one. Signed out, you were signed out of Google. stop broadcast. But I don't know if that's what I want to do. Um, so we'll see. I'll stop the broadcast. Perhaps I'll masturbate. Perhaps I'll immediately start another broadcast where I'll sing along or whatever with music and play other videos for universal peace.